Well, field work is slowly coming to an end. We got all the soy planted yesterday. Contractor came in, got it done. I was rushing to finish picking stones as they were getting this field planted. Had some fun crossing paths for a little while. Stone picker's slow with the amount of times I have to go dump. It's not really designed for corn stubble, but you can see it does quite a good job cleaning out the field. Discs didn't do much. They're old, they're obsolete, they're slated for replacement. But they turned the field up enough that the stone picker would grab everything on the way through, and just a lot more piles to the dump site. So, just the wheat fields left to get planted. I'm running a little late, but it's a short growing season, so it'll do. I'm just hoping that I get it in time to get some hay off the field too. So they'll be in later today, vacuum out the rest of the seed, get it back into bags to return, call it done. And I just have to get my seeder running and get grass seed and wheat. And one field that I don't want to go to hay, so that'll be mustard for an underseed. Gotta go and get the seed. Way too much to do all the time, but we'll get her done. Problem with farming with young kids. I spend half my day looking after kids and the other half working. Hopefully, wife's off today, but I'm out of fuel. Which means I can't do much till the fuel truck comes in unless I want to unpin and go down to town and fill up at the pumps. Well, that means pulling the stone picker off, pulling the bucket off, because it's way too wide to get in at the pumps. I think I'll just call in another half hour and get the diesel truck on its way and hope they make it today. Otherwise, they'll be in probably sometime tomorrow. Suppose while I'm waiting, I can go and do a supply run and get the seeder tuned up and hopefully ready to run. If it doesn't work, I'm not going to waste a lot of time on it. You can see my dead auger in the background. Wind blew it over, and then when I was rating it, it just bent. It's garbage. I think I got someone that might be interested in it though, just to get the pipe to run to a manure pit or something. If they give me the scrap value and haul it away, I'm happy. Just get it out of here. If they don't want everything, I'd be more than happy to keep the gearbox. I'd be happy to keep the winch off of it. Otherwise, everything else will just be chopped up for scrap. One more thing I don't have time to do. I got plenty of scrap metal to collect around here. Yesterday, it was very black from the dust. Just driving around in a dust cloud. I wish I had money to get a tractor like that and have a cab with air conditioning and heater in the winter, but it's money I don't have. What I have is paid for. It works. Needs some repairs all the time, but a lot cheaper than buying something new. Especially since if I get something new, I need to deal with the exhaust fluid and be locked to the manufacturer for repairs. So it is what it is. Keep working with what I got. Very nice planter. It was ripping through that field in no time. He started... I was in the field at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, picking stones. He pulled in 11:30, and he was done by 4:30. Because I had this field and then another field just over by the barn in the distance. About 25-30 acres. I don't have my maps on hand and I can never remember what my fields are. I just know them by number. I got maps that tell me when I'm doing planting so that I know what to order. The rest of the time I just work and field measurements mean nothing. It's just the time I spend. And it takes as long as it takes. But he has a camper over there in the garden that I turned up for him. I don't know, maybe next year I'll extend that into field too. We'll see. Or I might put it back to pasture and get some animals in there. Don't have time to deal with getting animals in this year, so he can use it. Hopefully people are enjoying the shorts that I've been putting up. I've noticed I've got a lot more subscribers off of that the last week. I went from 13 to 25 in the last 2 days. But shorts were about all the time I had to do from the tractor seat and couldn't throttle down to be able to say anything. So just run the camera for a minute and let it upload. And this grain bin there, that's another thing slated for an upgrade this year, I hope. I'd like to put in a second one just down below and have them with joint feed auger and joint outlet augers, so when someone comes in for corn, I just have the switches set and they just have to hit start and an electric auger will load them up. I'll have a loading zone right around here and a dump pit so that can just run the feed in or seed in and corn in and let it go. It'd be so nice to have everything electrical. I still have to get on there and do some maintenance on the electrical work. We got all the parts, just haven't had the time. I don't know, that maple tree there might actually get removed. It's not a good location because putting a line to it crosses the path. It's too far away to lug a single bucket or 2 buckets. And get it out of the way and be able to have that area opened up and be able to get through there with larger equipment. The tractors are parked down by the pump just waiting for fuel to arrive. I'll have to shuffle them around a little bit to give them more room. That's a problem for later. Kid's still sleeping, don't want to run a tractor for no reason. Truck won't be here for a few hours anyway, if he comes today. That's a big if. Kid's got a garden in over here. It's not going to do anything. He wanted to till it by hand instead of having me come in with heavy equipment. And got a whole lot of scrap wood by the sugar house that I got to chop up and get put in. Some old dying plum trees that I got to get out of there. Black rot setting in. See, I got some sumac growing in it too. My wife's allergic to plums, so there's no point in having the trees. Get them out of the way. And got my garden area over there that I tilled up with heavy equipment, but haven't got around to doing anything with. I have to get the wheat in before I worry about that. If I'm not working much today, maybe I'll get the potatoes planted. That's it. Life on the farm. There's always something to do. I could keep busy 24 hours a day. I don't have labor to work with me, so when I do bring labor in, it costs me money. Can't find kids that'll work for pocket change now. Best offer I had was someone that wanted $25 an hour to work the fields for me. I can't afford that. If someone's willing to work a few hours at a time, I'll pay them minimum wage to work, but considering most of the people that I can get are untrained, so I spend more time training them and observing them, so I'm cut down on the amount of work I get done. It's not worth paying big dollars. I'll do things myself and bring in contractors that can get things done in a hurry. I don't mind paying them decent money by the acre because they get it done. And most of the contractors I have are happy enough to go above and beyond what I ask and get things done well. We had a slight slowdown with the soybeans. Everything was here at noon on Saturday. We lost the day. The seed that arrived that morning was piled nicely on a flatbed so they could haul it around to where they needed it. Opened the first bag and poured it in. The seed didn't look right. Checked the next bag, and it was bio-seed and not the GMO that we work everywhere. It strictly restricts what we can spray on the fields, and so that means we can't hit the fields with Roundup. And if you look at a little bit, I think the camera might be picking it up. I'll zoom in a little bit, and a little bit of greenery around there. but not enough to hit it with Roundup yet, and I'll give it a few weeks when the beans start to pop up, and then kill off the weeds so they can grow. It's never easy. Deeper tillage might have helped, but I didn't have the equipment, and we were fighting against time to get the job done. I wasn't going to have them come in with a Lemkin to hit it again and then have to pick stones again. So, but the planter liked the ground. That's actually a no-till planter, but they prefer slightly tilled ground. Just goes easier, doesn't break as much. So we go with what we got. That, having the corn stubble cleared off made it a lot easier for him. That was 3 days on this field just moving corn stubble and stone. Try to not have my hand over the camera. Yeah. Keeping busy all the time. Want to get my own garden in, but it'll probably be too late and it'll end up being turned back into lawn again this year. But now that I got the majority of the stones cleared off these fields, next year it'll go a lot nicer because it'll be just the soy fields and wheat fields that'll have to clean. I'll have new discs next year. Supplier has some Rotobesh discs. I've got a frame that they'll go on. So, rip off the spring tooth, put those discs on, and let her go. See how it works. A little more tractor would work better, but I work with what I got. It might be a little slower, but it does the job. Stone picker, I'm pretty much bare minimum for power to pull it and hydraulic capacity, but it's been working well. If the ground was tilled deeper, it would work a lot better because then I could be doing a larger pass instead of doubling or tripling up my passes to clear everything. But the corn stubble was a slowdown too. And hope I won't have to deal with that next year. Don't know what I'm looking for. That wasn't one of my kids. Older one's in school. Younger one is still in the house and his mother's there. I guess I've yammered on long enough. Hopefully, if you like the video and actually watch at the end, then you'll subscribe to the channel. If I can get this monetized in the next year or two, we'll see what that brings me. I know it's going to be pocket change what I make off the channel, if I make anything ever. But if I make a little bit, then I'll probably buy some new tools to play with and get videos on. Every cent I make off this channel will just be reinvested right back into the farm. If I ever make anything, hopefully I'll get a sponsor. But I don't have much hopes, but if you like it, please subscribe, like, comment if you wish. I do a lot of videos like this. They're just straight standing around the field talking, but I try to get good footage when I'm working too, if I have the time and somewhere to put the camera. I'd lost my tripod the other day and it's not big enough, but I'll have a new one coming in next week that'll be a lot better. GoPro, it's never on me when I need it, so work a lot with the phone. Get a nice calm day, I'll probably do a farm tour with the drone. It's nice right now, but by the time I have time to do that, the wind will probably be picked up again. Yesterday I was just working in a cloud of dust. Half the time I couldn't see the machine. If you want to see that, check through my shorts. I did a brief clip showing what visibility I had looking at the machine. Just a cloud of dust. So, until I get back in the field and get some footage, I'll have other videos coming up shortly on planting corn. Didn't have time yesterday to get any footage on the soybean planting, but it all looks the same from the ground. Not quite the same planter, but very similar. The corn planter is a little bit bigger and holds a little more fertilizer. Soybeans, we weren't applying fertilizer. There'll be a top dressing put on next month or so probably, but soy doesn't really need it that badly. It'll get nitrogen back into the field, so I'll have to spend less for fertilizer next year for corn. I guess at 15 minutes, that's enough for one video. So, till next time.